Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Oh, yes, we do. Thanks very much, Ken, and welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. You can call us on the Bordas & Bordas hotline, which is 412-575-2600. You can tweet us at KDPomp, at the Pony Express. And we will begin with what a game tonight at PPG Paints Arena. Penguins once again, for the fourth game in a row, start flat, fall behind in this game. And it was a 3-1 game. It could have been 4-1. A 3-on-none surrendered. The biggest play of the game, in my view, was Casey DeSmith stoning Carl Hagelin. And then after that, the Penguins get on the road to a comeback. However, there was also a big play by DeSmith, and this really has nothing to do with stopping pucks. Instead, how about that stretch pass, Andrew, right on the blade of Teddy Bluger? You never see a 3-on-none in a game, and you very seldom see a 5-on-3 shorthanded goal for like Teddy Bluger got. What a game.
Yeah. Well, Bob, how about the people, a lot of our media friends that in the second period were tweeting things like, well, the Penguins Stanley Cup window is closed. This team needs to make a coaching change. It's time to trade Evgeny Malkin. Where are those people now, Bob? Right?
Well,
listen, it's just amazing how, right? No. Were you saying those things? You can call yourself out for it now.
No. All I was saying was I thought Malkin was off to a terrible start and he needed to wake up, which is true. That's not saying anything other than he was not playing well. He had no goals, no points in 3 games, working on 4. He had 7 shots on goal. Finally got a goal. So that was my only criticism. But it's too early to make any kind of judgment on that. I thought, Washington can say the same. Here's a 3-on-none situation that we're talking about. What a good save there by DeSmith. But, Washington's an older team as well. I think the Penguins, though, the bad starts kind of confound me. They're at home, second night. They won a game the other night. I thought they'd come out flying tonight. Instead, it was Washington who had the first 11 of 16 shots in this game. So that's what concerned me. But it's too early to make any kind of pronouncements like that.
Well, yeah, I'm not calling you out because you're a measured guy. You don't just throw things against the wall, Bob. You know what I'm talking about, throwing it against the wall. I can't say that word on the show, right?
Yeah.
To the best of my knowledge.
Well, it's CW. You might be able to, but I'm not going to give you the green light there, so don't.
So, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And, that a few things happened besides the DeSmith save. You mentioned the shorthanded goal, down 2 men, which that's the first time that's happened since Matt Cook in 2012. You get a hit, a dirty hit as a matter of fact. TJ Oshie, who is Tom Wilson light, Tom Wilson Jr. for Washington, he seems to get away with the dirty hits. He had one that knocked Marcus Pettersson out of this game, and I thought changed the complexion of the game. Very unnecessary. Gave the Penguins a power play, and they made Washington play. That's the way it's supposed to work. You want to play it that way? Fine. We'll put our stars on the ice with an extra man, and we'll score a goal. So, that happened. That was a big part of this game. And
yeah,
so,
it was.
I give the Penguins full marks here. They looked for about 30 minutes or so like they were a flat team, and they had packed it in. But Washington did a couple of things to wake the Penguins up, and Sidney Crosby ended up cashing in the end, and that's the way it should go. Your highest paid player, your star player, should be the guy that ends up putting the nail in the coffin, and he did.
And he's third all-time in overtime game-winning goals now in the history of the game. So we'll talk more about that. But we have other things to get into as well. If you have a comment about this, call us at 412-575-2600. But a big 2 points. Washington comes away with a point again, which is something you don't like to see. But bottom line is the Penguins got 2 wins out of 2 games against this team, which is not easy to do. I want to talk also about, Pitt's en route to a win against Duke. It's there's still a lot of time left. I'm going to get into that in a second. So we'll defer that for now, Andrew. But the news last night was the Pirates, and Ben Cherington, had a little Zoom today. They trade Musgrove. They get 5 players. This always concerns me. Whenever you get quantity over quality, and I don't know if there's quality. I do know there's quantity. Normally in this situation, how many of 5 guys do you expect to be here eventually to be guys who can be productive for this team? Because it's never all 5.
No, I'm with you. I think in a vacuum, if you evaluate the trade, it's a guy that's a back of the rotation starter and you got more back in this deal than you did for Josh Bell. Would you disagree with me on that, Bob?
No.
You want to fight that point?
And I also say the same about Marte. You got more in this deal than you did for Marte. Who would have figured that?
Right. Yeah, so if you just evaluate this trade on its own, I think whether you're a small market team or a big market team, the Pirates got all that and more for Joe Musgrove, who plays the game the right way, but isn't a highly, he's not a front of the rotation starter. I'm not even sure if he is a starting pitcher. He might be better off as a setup man or a closer for a good team. But, the thing about this whole Pirates rebuild, and, if I were Ben Cherington, I would probably do the same thing. This was not a very good team. Tear it down to the studs, build up your minor league system. But the issue is, once you do that and you start to build it back up, are you going to get the green light from the people above you to make trades and sign free agents to get this thing home? The Pirates won a lot of regular season games with Clint Hurdle and Neil Huntington, but they never really made the free agent acquisition, Bob, to put them in position to win the whole thing. Okay, 98 games, you can say that all you want in trade deadline acquisitions, but those were deals that came with limited financial obligation. They never really made a free agent splash.
Right.
Their biggest free agent signing is Russell Martin to this point,
right. And they promised that they would. If people would come out, they'd have wins, they start doing it. They never lived up to that promise. And so you have doubts moving forward that they ever will do that. You get a player who's ready to cash in, let's say 5 years into it, he's about to become a free agent. That's when I want to see them step up and save one of those guys instead of immediately trade him. And that seems to be the way they go. Anyway, 412-575-2600. We're up against the break. Come back. Your calls are next right here live on Pittsburgh CW.